What's up, class, and welcome to another episode of the No Mod Shop class here on the Schooled Zone. So this isn't actually the episode I was supposed to post today. I have a fun collab video in the works, but there's one last little element that's giving me trouble because it's super complicated and is probably going to have to involve logic gates. But I want to try to make it as simple to explain as possible because the outcome is really cool. Stay tuned for that video. It should be coming up very soon. But in lieu of that, I have another fun, helpful video to post today. I wanted to post this video because a lot of people commented on the creativity element of the recent contest winners and asked how they thought this stuff up. Some even claimed to be glad they didn't enter because they knew they would have lost. See, I want to try to change that thinking a little bit in this video, not only to boost your confidence about building, but to make you realize that creativity is a muscle that can be exercised and strengthened. Learning that will make your entire building experience much more fun. But before we get to all that, let's take a quick peek at this month's Wall of Fame. As you probably know by now, I feature the names of my amazing Patreon supporters each month on this here Wall of Fame. And here is the Student Council this month. Thank you guys so much for your generosity and support for the channel. As we near the holidays, there's inevitably some drop-off, so I'm going to try to push this a little bit further on you guys because the Patreon account really helps support the channel and keeps this channel going. Every time we have a dip in support, that's that many more hours I have to work each week to make ends meet, which means less videos. And I'm really trying to struggle and put it all together to make it work, but I'll leave a link in the description below and the iCard above. There's some fantastic perks in addition to seeing your name on the Wall of Fame. And if you don't want to leave YouTube and take the time to set up a Patreon account, there's also a join button down below where you can become a member and a super thanks button if you just want to make like a one-time donation. Okay, let's get into it. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about the concept of thinking outside the box. That phrase actually originated from a puzzle game called 9 Dots, where you have to pass through all the dots using only 4 straight lines without lifting the pen. You may have encountered the game in school at some point, but the only solution involves drawing outside the box. Although it's never stated, people always assume that staying within the box is part of the rules. So those who veer outside the lines are said to think outside the box. Get it? Anyway, that phrase can also mean using tools for unintended purposes. In modern lingo, they call those hacks. MacGyver, for example, was the master of hacks. And that's also one of the main themes of the No Mod Shop class, using tools or glitches in ways to think outside the box. But what about using the assets themselves for unintended purposes? The fun really begins when you can look at an object in a menu for more than just its intended purpose and look at it also for its shape or its color or its texture. We'll go over a few examples here. Okay, so here we are at my county crossing settlement. Got some nice open space here that I can show you some of these examples. So I've set out some props so we can take a look at each of them and see how we can think outside the box. All right. So over here, we've got some bookshelves just from the vanilla assets. And, normally we'd face them in this direction. But as you can see, if I turn them around, they've got a nice wood texture on the back and they're pretty solid looking. I could use this for something like maybe a picture frame or, something to outline a neon sign, just to stick it out from the building a little bit. All of these would require, pillar glitching them into place. You can also rug glitch them because they don't snap. But what would happen if I stacked a bunch of these together and made them look like stairs? All right, we'll take a look at a final example of that in a minute. Over here, we've got the cupola from the warehouse section. And it's got a nice little contained roof there. Normally it would be the cap to the roof, but it's got a little spire there as well. We could use that in interesting ways. For example, what happens if I sunk this into the ground instead of putting it on top of a roof? And then use the little spire as the post for a sign. And then over here, we've got the container, the orange container. And we've got the trash can, the nicer one from the Vault Tech section, I believe. What would happen if we combined these, Maybe I could sink this into the ground, turn this around, pillar glitch it on top of that, and make it look like, a little missile silo or something. All right, over here we've got the, traditional trash can dumpster. But what would happen if we didn't think of it as a dumpster? What if, the top of it kind of looks like doors? If I sunk this in the ground, it could look like doors to a cellar or maybe a fallout shelter. That's pretty cool. So over here we've got the bell and a lantern. But what happens if I didn't think of this as the bell? What happens if I thought of it as maybe the lampshade for the lantern? So I could pillar glitch the lantern up into the bell. You know, it would take some finagling because we can't, unfortunately, look at something from, you know, both the X and Y axis, but wish we could. That would be awesome. Now, the bell can be rug glitched as well. So if you get the lantern up into place and it's not perfectly aligned, but you've got the bell on some rugs, then you could just shift the, you know, the rugs around with the bell post on it and get it right into place. So let's take a look at some of these final examples. Why don't we? Over here, I put together a little staircase made of bookshelves. Now, I did this at night, actually, so it wasn't aligned perfectly. But in doing so and not aligning it perfectly, it gave me the idea that I could actually curve these stairs. If I just set them a few degrees, each of them at an angle, then I could have it curve down and around. You know, it would take a little work to get it to look right, but yeah, let's see if they work. Whoa, look how easy that was. So that is awesome. I'm going to figure out a better place to use those. And then over here, we've got the container, orange container, which I just pillar glitched into the ground. And then I pillar glitched the trash can right on top of it. And then added this little launch computer, you know, with the conduit to make it look like, you know, it's some kind of rocket mortar or something. So that is cool. Obviously, I'll find another place for this, or, you know, maybe it's better in some sort of sci-fi settlement or something to that effect. What else we got? Okay, so let's, okay, over here, we've got the bell, which I rug glitched into this support post here, and then pillar glitched the lantern right up into it. And it looks awesome. It looks better at night, obviously. But yeah, that turned out so well, I'm probably going to leave it right where it is. So that is really cool. I love that. Okay, so over here, we've got the dumpster, which I just pillar glitched down to the ground, and now it looks like doors to a cellar or a fallout shelter. I could add a little sign here that said fallout shelter or the nuclear symbol or something. But yeah, that looks awesome. I think I'm also going to leave that right where it is. It almost looks like a cellar doors from Sanctuary, you know, the back of that one house. And then finally, we've got the cupola, which I sunk into the ground using the pillar glitch, and then added that plumbing sign and then little components, you know, underneath it. But yeah, it looks like kind of like a little warning area. Obviously, plumbing, you know, is referring to my water collection over here in this little scummy lake. But yeah, that is awesome. That's something else I think I'm also going to keep right where it is. But yeah, those are some examples of, you know, using some of these props. This guy's like impressive. Huh? Huh? Okay, so those are but a few of hundreds, possibly thousands of different possibilities in the building system. And if you can start to think outside the box, not only will it help you become better builders, but it may even help you become better thinkers in real life. Gotta love it when video game skills can translate, you know, into your real world habits and prosperity. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this helpful and possibly philosophical little video. And thanks again to the Student Council for your support on Patreon and with the join button down below. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button or like button, that always helps as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Happy building, and class dismissed.